Hagrid, what is that?
What we're here for. See that? That's unicorn blood, that is. I found one dead a few weeks ago. Now, this one's been hurt bad by something. So, it's our job to go and find the poor beast. Ron, Hermione, you'll come with me.
Okay.
And Harry, you'll go with Malfoy.
Okay, then I get Fang.
Fine. Just so you know, he's a bloody coward.
You wait till my father hears about this. This is servant stuff. If I didn't know better, Draco, I'd say you were scared. Scared, Potter. Did you hear that? Come on, Fang. Scared.
What is it, Fang?
Harry Potter, you must leave. You are known to many creatures here. The forest is not safe at this time, especially for you.
But what was that thing you saved me from?
A monstrous creature. It is a terrible crime to slay a unicorn. Drinking the blood of a unicorn will keep you alive even if you are an inch from death, but at a terrible price. You have slain something so pure that from the moment the blood touches your lips, you will have a half-life, a cursed life.
But who would choose such a life?
Can you think of no one?
Do you mean to say that thing that killed the unicorn, that was drinking its blood, that was Voldemort?
Do you know what is hidden in the school at this very moment, Mr. Potter?
The Philosopher's Stone.
Harry!
Hello there, friends. See, you've met our young Mr. Potter. All right there, Harry.
Harry Potter, this is where I leave you. You're safe now. Good luck.
Why I wrote it is very simple, is that the Bible speaks about dragons. And our authority, everything that we do, we have to measure by the Word of God. That's what I believe. And so we have to go to the Bible, and the Bible speaks about dragons. It speaks about dragons in the Old Covenant scriptures. But you know something? It speaks about dragons in the New Testament. If you look at the book of Revelation, Satan is compared to a dragon over and over again. Like 13 times in the book of Revelations, dragon is used, and it's either referring to Satan or some kind of evil. Now what's fascinating is throughout history, on every continent and all these historical works, we see dragons are portrayed as lethal predators. All right, there's these big, giant, scaled reptiles that are they're just lethal, and they will kill you. They kill livestock. They are really the apex of apex predators. And here we have in Revelations God explaining to us, using a dragon as the imagery of saying, you know, Satan is like a dragon. And so he is comparing the predator to us, Satan, as a dragon. And he uses that imagery because the people, 2,000 years ago would have understood the lethality that came with dragons. They understood that image. They understood how dangerous they were, and they were mortal enemies to just about everything.
So you're telling me you think the dragons that are talked about in Revelation aren't just mythical, aren't just figurative speech, it's a real animal?
Well, here's the issue on that, speaking directly to that. It's a great question. Is if dragons in fact were entirely mythological, if they were a figment of imagination, if they never ever did exist, then God just compared our adversary to a make-believe creature that never existed.
Mythical creatures are animals and beasts that are believed to be real even though there isn't enough evidence to support their existence. They gained popularity through literary circulation and folklore. Dragon. The creature called dragon has two origins. European, derived from European, Greek and Middle Eastern mythologies, and Chinese, derived from Japan, China, Korea and other East Asian folklore. Common to both origins, the dragon is a huge reptilian fire-breathing creature living in caves, mountains or lakes. While in some cultures they are considered a cause of havoc, in some other cultures they are also a sign of peace and prosperity. Unicorn. The word unicorn comes from the Latin words uni meaning one and cornus meaning horn. A unicorn is said to be a beautiful and pure woodland creature which resembles a white horse with a single spiraling horn protruding from its forehead. Its horn is said to have the power to make poisonous water potable and to heal sickness. Werewolf. A werewolf is a mythical human with the ability or curse to turn into a wolf-like creature. This transformation is often associated with the appearance of a full moon. Cerberus. In Roman and Greek mythology, Cerberus is a three-headed dog guarding the entrance to the underworld. It would only allow people to enter the place of the dead, but never allowed them to leave. Only few have ever managed to escape from him. Among them was Orpheus, a Greek musician who lulled it to sleep by playing a lyre. Gorgons. The Gorgons were three frightful sisters, Medusa, Steno, and Uriel, who had hair of living venomous snakes. In addition, Medusa is said to have a deadly stare which could turn a person to stone. Steno, sharp fangs, and Uriel is known for her bellowing cries.
Sphinx, jackalope, manticore, griffin, hippogriff. All monsters made up of body parts from more than one animal. We now call these hybrid monsters chimeras, owing to the original chimera of ancient Greece, a ridiculously impractical mythological monster with 3 heads, a lion, a goat, and a snake. Which seems absurd, but then again, humans have been crafting these mythological creatures for thousands of years, in more ways than one. I'm Dr. Emily Zarka, and this is Monstrum. When I say humans have crafted chimeras for thousands of years, I mean handcrafted, as in sewing dead bodies together. The ancient Romans displayed a centaur preserved in honey. The figure was likely made from mummified human and horse remains. The Romans also exhibited a puppet with a false human head attached to a large serpent that could open and close its mouth and flick its snake tongue. It fooled quite a few people. And don't even get me started on all the weird taxidermy trends in the Victorian period. But it's not all jumbled up animals and antlers glued to rabbits. A real living chimera of a sheep and a goat, a geep, was made in the 1980s. Now, I could try to explain all of this and do a terrible job at it, but I'll turn to the esteemed Dr. Joe Hansen. Joe, can you help me out here?
Okay, maybe you've heard of ligers, mules, beefaloes, zonkies, coy dogs, wolfens, or maybe pizzly bears. Those are all real examples of two animals combined into one, but they're not chimeras, biologically speaking. They're hybrid animals, one embryo that came from two related species mating, like a lion and a tiger. But the geep was different. That started as two embryos, one goat and one sheep that were combined to make one geep embryo. Two bodies or embryos combined into one is a chimera. Science.
So scientists refer to these animals as chimeras, a concept with its roots deep in mythology. Mythical hybrid animals have existed in cultures around the world for centuries. It wasn't until Homer's Iliad that the word chimera first appears. Here, the chimera is a female beast with the upper body of a lion, the tail of a snake, and a goat head in the middle of its torso. A fire-breathing goat head. Yeah, it has 3 heads and the goat is the most threatening one. In the story, Bellerophon is ordered to kill the chimera, a seemingly impossible task. Luckily for our hero, his noble steed is none other than the winged horse Pegasus, which helps him kill the chimera from above. Pegasus, also a chimera, lowercase c chimera. Go figure. After Homer's tale, other Greek writers followed with their own versions of the chimera story. Most set chimeras home in Lycia, 500 long miles from Athens, a metaphor for the Greeks' fear of the foreign and what they saw as uncivilized territory. It's also a place known for mysteriously burning ground fires caused by natural gas leaking to the surface. But to humans of the time, a fire-breathing goat was just as likely. The mountain where these fires burned was appropriately called Mount Chimera. So how the heck do we explain the inspiration for the lion, goat, serpent heads thing?
We don't see cross-species animal chimeras in the wild, but we do sometimes see certain traits on one species that kind of appear to come from other species, like extra limbs, or how some humans have extra fingers that make them look kind of reptile-y. And during development, many vertebrate embryos pass through stages that resemble more ancient branches of life, like fish, complete with gill-looking growths. So that would be confusing in olden days. And finally, some animals can be born with multiple heads, though they're always the same kind of heads. So you pretty much got to stretch the scientific truth to get mythical chimeras.
One explanation for the creation of this odd 3-headed creature might come from human confusion of early fossil discoveries. It's possible that the fossilized bones of a goat, a lion, and a snake could have been found in the same place when they were killed by a flash flood or fell into a tar pit. Humans discovered their fossilized remains together and imagined a chimera to explain what they saw. There is a ton of ancient art that depicts the chimera, everything from coins and statues to containers and plates. Because of its presence in the Iliad and other classical Greek texts and art, the chimera continued to be a recognizable myth as the centuries wore on. The word chimera came to signify not just a hybrid animal, but anything that seemed to be impossible or a figment of the imagination. Only over the last few decades have we been able to accept and prove that interspecies chimeras are possible. After the geep, another crazy moment in chimera history happened in 1998 when 2 scientists tried to get a patent on a variety of human-animal chimeras. And yes, they used that term specifically. The patent was rejected as an invention that would be injurious to the well-being, good policy, or good morals of society. And the US Patent and Trademark Office Commissioner reportedly even referred to these proposed creations as monsters.
But research into human-animal chimeras continues. Some scientists are growing human tissues inside pigs in order to one day improve how we transplant organs. But the ethics and feelings surrounding this kind of research are complicated. I mean, in a world of human-animal chimeras...
What constitutes a human? If I grew bird wings, would I be considered a human or a chimera? As technology advances, the possibility of even human chimeras becomes real. The world of biological chimeras is even weirder, so head over to It's Okay to Be Smart and watch Joe's video to learn about that. So we've come full circle, from the impossible chimera monster of Greek mythology to the potential for real animal chimeras. When we move from the realm of fantasy into reality, things get much more complicated. So it's no longer just an exercise of imagination, but a question about ethics. We can craft chimeras, but should we?